Detroit lawyer Harold Gurwitz says his client's case centers on better defining privacy protections for Americans being investigated by law enforcement. Photo, Max Ortiz / The Detroit News, by photo. Detroit: a court battle hailed as the most important privacy rights case in the digital age started with a Detroit robber serving 116 years in prison, caught and convicted thanks to little-known cell phone records. The case of Timothy Ivory Carpenter reaches the U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday and could have far-reaching consequences for privacy rights and crimp the government's ability to easily track the location of cell phones and collect data, including internet browsing histories, photos, voice commands sent to smart devices and more, legal and privacy experts said. The case also sheds light on stored digital information that tracks a cell phone user's movements and location even when the phone is not being used. Carpenter's lawyer and privacy advocates want to limit the government's ability to obtain cell phone records revealing a person's location and movements over a long period of time without a search warrant. Federal prosecutors say the information does not violate Fourth Amendment protections and users do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy. The case is about better defining the privacy protections that people have and the records that are created when internet devices are used, Carpenter's lawyer Harold Gurwitz said. Carpenter, 33, was convicted and sentenced to more than 116 years in federal prison in 2014 for his role in a string of armed robberies after investigators obtained tracking information from his cell phone, which FBI agents retroactively used to place him near the scene of the crimes. His lawyers argue investigators violated Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable searches because the government searched his phone records without a warrant. The case could decide whether the government must obtain a search warrant to access a person's cell phone location history. In December 2010, Carpenter was a two-time felon with convictions for attempted receiving and concealing stolen property, attempted tampering with a motor vehicle and delivering cocaine. That month, he graduated to more serious crimes. He conspired with others to rob 6 cellular telephone stores in Detroit, Highland Park, East Point, and Warren, Ohio, during a 2-year crime spree. The robberies targeted cell phones sold at Radio Shack and T-Mobile stores. The thieves stole $10,000 to $30,000 worth of new phones during robberies masterminded, initially, by Michael Green, 34, who sold the stolen phones to an Oak Park man, according to court records. On December 13, 2010, Carpenter and others robbed a Radio Shack on E. Jefferson in Detroit. 5 days later, they robbed a T-Mobile on Gresham and, 3 months later, a Radio Shack in Warren, Ohio. By April 2011, Green was gone. His arrest left Carpenter in charge and he orchestrated the robbery of a Radio Shack on Woodward in Highland Park. An old-fashioned game of telephone led investigators to Carpenter.